Hello, Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you for joining me for this short and strong yoga flow. So today we will be stretching, strengthening and bringing awareness into the body as we move. So making this an embodied movement practice. So we'll be starting in a lying position. So when you're ready, you can come down into a comfortable lying position to start the class, just grabbing any blocks or props that you might usually need in your practice. And this is a practice that is kind of suitable for someone who probably already has an existing yoga practice, and there will be some kind of playful and stronger transitions in there today. So coming down and finding that lying position when you're ready. Once you're there, just allow the arms to come out to the side. Maybe you're bringing the legs out to the side, perhaps taking up a little bit of space. Closing your eyes or softening the gaze. We're starting to notice how you're feeling. So as you come to your mat today for this practice, noticing what kinds of thoughts you're perhaps having. Noticing how you're feeling physically, mentally, emotionally. Holding space for whatever's there. And starting to imagine perhaps just putting down anything that's no longer needed. Dropping into this moment right now. Scanning into your body with your awareness. Using your awareness as the gateway. In a lot of ways, you are the awareness. You are the awareness, observing your thoughts, observing any emotions passing through. Noticing any sensations in the body and feeling your breath. As you breathe in through the nose, seeing if you can trace that breath down into the back of the throat, the chest, noticing where it travels to within your body. And then with the arms, reach them up above the head like you're taking a big stretch. So reach the fingertips back in one direction and the feet in the other direction. Stretching yourself out as much as you can. And as you exhale, release, sigh it out if that feels good too. Just take a releasing breath out. And one more of these, take a big stretch as you inhale. Reaching back with the fingertips, reaching down with the feet. And exhale out, take a big sigh out. And relax everything into the ground. And starting to open the eyes if you had them closed. Bend the legs, bring the soles of your feet to the mat. And keep your arms reaching up above your head. Notice your lower back and where this is or is not connected to the ground. And we want to try and imagine the pelvis drawing up and in towards the body. So really strong connection between your lower back to your mat. Sometimes can help to lift the hips slightly and then bring them back down. Feel that connection. Maybe feeling the core kind of switching on here. With this connection in mind, start to bring your right elbow to meet that right knee. And reach the arm back over the head. Bring the left elbow to the left knee. And come back. Once more on each side, right elbow to right knee. And come back. Left elbow to left knee. And come back. This time I'm going to go across on the diagonal, so your right elbow is going to come to your left knee, and then this time lengthen that right leg and reach lengthen the left leg and reach your right fingertips back. So bring it in again for 1. So on the diagonal and reach back. For 2, elbow to knee and reach back. For 3, elbow to knee and reach back. And for 4, elbow to knee and reach back. Switch it over, so bend the left leg, lengthen the right leg. This time for 1, bring the left elbow to the right knee and reach back. For 2, elbow to knee and reach back. For 3, and reach back, well done. And for 4, and reach back, well done. Take a big hug in, drawing the knees in towards the chest, maybe taking a little roll, perhaps from side to side, massaging that back into the ground. And then start to roll over onto your front. Bring your fingertips out to the side, create a little bit of space, and as you inhale, imagine you're being lifted from your shoulder blades and then lifting the head up last. As you exhale, melt the chest and the head back down. So rippling into the spine, floating your cobras now. So you inhale, lifting, and as you exhale, melting back down. So moving with your breath, listening to your body, taking the cobras as high or as low as you want them to be. Last one. Inhale, lifting, exhale, coming back down. And then bringing the hands into the side of the body, press up to an all fours position on your mat. Really grounding into the hands, feeling that connection between your hands with the ground underneath you, your foundations. And from here, imagine lifting your tailbone and then sit your hips down towards your heels, so finding a child's pose. And then as you exhale, roll the spine up, so rounded spine as you come forwards. As you come back, inhale, lift the tailbone, let the belly drop, slide back to your child's pose. So inhale, rounding the spine forwards, and then lifting the tailbone, floating back. So like a spinal wave that we sometimes do from downward dog, but we're doing it in all fours. So rounding the spine forward. See if you can go nice and slow and controlled, and then lifting the hips, floating back. So a different kind of version of cat and cow here. Maybe it feels good as you come forwards. Maybe you then start to melt the hips down, find a cobra or an upward facing dog. And then lift the hips, lift the tailbone and slide back. Last one, rounding as you come forwards. Maybe find a cobra or an upward dog. Feel into what's right for you and come back to child's pose. Come into your all fours position again now and tuck your toes under, and we'll exhale the hips to the sky for a downward facing dog. Just always remembering throughout the practice, if you ever want to come back to child's pose or take a pause, then just take it. Make this practice yours. Make it what you need it to be today. So taking some little movements in downward dog, if that feels good to you. So it could be some pedaling out through the feet, really feeling into the backs of the legs, waking the body up. Every muscle, every bone, every piece of tissue, every cell. Imagine connecting with everything working together. So on your inhale, lift your heels away from the ground and shift your heels over to the right. Bend into the legs, press the mat away with your hands. Float the heels back through center over to the other side and bend into the legs, press the mat away with your hands again here. Shift the heels back through center, and this time we're going to bring the heels over to the right, bend into the legs, reach the left fingertips up so we're in this kind of twisted bent leg side plank. Just created something new. Back to downward dog, and then heels come over to the other side, bend into the legs. Maybe these right fingertips reach off, maybe you're wobbling, and then float back to your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here, breathing in through the nose. See how it feels to exhale out through the mouth. On your next inhale, shift the shoulders forwards, coming into a plank position. Ground into your right hand, open out into your right side, Vashisthasana. So this time we're in our lengthened leg side plank. Option to bend this left knee and lift the left knee up towards the ceiling. Breathing here. With control, bring that left leg back down, pivot back to your plank, and come on to the other side. So left side Vashisthasana, maybe bending that right knee and lifting it up. Keep breathing. Release the right leg down, come back to plank, and we'll flow through your version of Vinyasa, your Chaturanga. So inhaling from here into an upward facing dog or a cobra, and then exhaling back to a downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, walk the hands in, take a little forward fold here, bend into the legs as much as you need to. Start to take any little wiggles or movements. Letting the head hang heavy, opening into the backs of the legs. Then on your inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, find Ardha Uttanasana, a halfway lift. And then exhale, fold forwards. Again, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forwards. Once more, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forwards. And walk your hands back out, so coming back to your downward facing dog. From here, inhale, sweep your right leg up, find a three-leg dog. Option to open into the hips. Inhale, look between the hands, step your right foot through. Reach the fingertips up, finding a high lunge. We're going to circle the arms here. I want you to take some wide circles with the arms. Imagine almost as if you're taking a big yawn. So you could think about lifting the elbows first and then expanding out with the arms. Focus on how the movement feels rather than how it looks. And as you lift, think about really lifting your heart up towards the ceiling and expanding out. One more of these. Start to ground into your right foot and step this left leg in, hovering it off the ground. Begin to circle your left knee around, moving into the hip space. So taking some circles with this left leg. You can imagine the left knee tracing a circle, maybe on that front wall, maybe even the side wall if you're getting a little bit spicy. Finding a drishti here if that helps. And then you're going to catch your left leg and bring the sole of the foot into finding your tree pose. Vrksasana. Reach the fingertips up. Option to take Kali Mudra with the hands, so interlacing the fingers, keeping the index fingers long, imagining this really long line of energy through the body. Bring the hands back down. See if you can release this left leg, and we're gonna watch out for the plant or anything that's there. Bring that right hand down to a block or the mat and find Find your Ardha Chandrasana, your half moon pose. Breathing here. Lovely, well done. Let's take a big step back, finding a wide leg position, toes pointing out and sinking down into your goddess. See how it feels to take a shift from one side to the other. And then coming back to stillness, right forearm comes to the right thigh, left fingertips reach up, take a side stretch. Take it over to the other side. Woo. Hands back to heart center, release the legs. And we'll float the hands around to frame the front foot, step it back to plank, flow through your vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back to a downward facing dog. Taking a breath here, taking a child's pose if that's what you're feeling for. Awareness into your body, seeing what you can observe. On your next inhale, reach the left leg up, find your three-leg dog. Look between the hands, step the left foot through, find your lunge. Start to circle those arms. So again, you could imagine lifting from the elbows like you're taking this big yawn. Just expanding, lifting up and out from the waist. Then last, circle with the arms, grounding into your left foot. Step this right leg in. So drawing your right knee in towards the chest and start to circle that right leg around, moving into your hip space. Lovely. So imagine with this right knee that you're drawing some circles, either on the front wall or the side wall. Notice which muscles are naturally switching on to support these movements. And then on your next one, you're going to see if you can catch that right leg and find your version of tree pose. So bringing the right foot in to meet somewhere on that left leg. Growing your tree tall, option for Kali Mudra with the hands. So fingers interlaced, index fingers reaching up. Beautiful, releasing from your tree. Now seeing if you can release that right leg. Fun transition. Left hand's going to come down to the ground or a block. Right hip's going to open up towards the ceiling for Ardha Chandrasana, your half moon pose. Maybe the gaze comes up towards the ceiling here as well. Nice, and then from here, take a really big step back. Open out to wide leg stance with the toes pointing out for your goddess, hands at heart center. So start with seeing if you can take some little shifts from side to side, sinking down into the hip area. Coming back to stillness, take a stretch over to that right side. Take it over to the left. Come back through center. Release the legs, well done. And float the hands around, take a big step back to plank. And flow through your vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale back to your downward facing dog. Well done. So either taking a couple of breaths in downward facing dog, or you're going to have a little bit of playtime here. So you could be working on your kicks up to handstand, you could be taking a headstand, pincher. So take the inversion of your choice. As you know, mine's usually handstand. And coming back to downward facing dog when you're ready. Everybody meeting there. Or finding your child's pose. This time we're going to inhale, shift the shoulders forwards, come to plank. Come into your right side Vashisthasana. So option to either stay here or you're going to lift that left knee up like we did last time. Then maybe see if you can bring that left foot down to meet the ground and lift the hips and the heart for Wild Thing. Start to release from your Wild Thing. Coming back through almost to downward dog position, and then draw your left knee to the outside of the left wrist. Find pigeon. Beautiful. So you're either going to work with your pigeon here, use any blocks or props to support. You could fold forwards, or if it's in your practice and you're working with mermaid or a version of that, or you've got your reverse grip, you can find that here, so option to bend in that back leg if it feels good to. Just remembering flowing rather than forcing. So wherever you are, noticing your breathing, being that ever alert guardian of your inner space, of your body, for everything that's alive for you. Noticing if you can feel that energy moving, maybe a little bit more now we've got into the practice. Feeling that aliveness, being present for it. One more breath wherever you are. And then releasing. Bring the hands down to your mat. Tuck under the back toes and lift back to downward facing dog. Option to shift the shoulders forwards from here to plank and take a vinyasa, or you can just stay in your down dog for a couple of breaths, or child's pose. Totally up to you. Everybody meeting back in downward facing dog when you're ready. This time, inhale, shift the shoulders forwards to plank. Come onto a left side Vashisthasana. So reaching the right fingertips up in your side plank. Maybe bending into this right leg, lifting the right knee high. Seeing how it feels to bring those right toes down to the mat, and then reaching the heart and the hips up towards the ceiling for Wild Thing. Well done. Slowly coming back through almost a downward facing dog, and then this time finding your way into pigeon on the right side. Lovely. So taking whatever version of pigeon you'd like to take, you could come into a little fold here. You could take your mermaid again, bending in that back leg. You could always be bringing the foot into the crease of that left arm is a nice option as well. You don't have to have the hands coming interlacing all the way round. One more breath here. And then coming away from your pigeon, taking a big step back to downward dog. And then we're going to drop the knees down to the mat. Bring the hips down to the ground, reach the legs out in front, flex the feet, Paschimottanasana. Inhale, create space, exhale, fold forwards, leading with the chest bone. Taking that big forward fold, hands could be on the thighs, the shins, the feet. Option to close the eyes here, steady the gaze. And on your next inhale, start to lift the chest, coming back up. Coming back into comfortable seated position. Bring the hands down to the knees or the thighs with the palms facing down, and close the eyes or soften your gaze. Notice how your energy feels. Using your awareness as a gateway. Gateway to your breath, your body. It's also a gateway to sometimes changing or moving forward with things. So it all starts with awareness, being aware of what's present now, of how things are now, what kind of thoughts we're having now. And then from that awareness, if there's things where we want to change the story or we want to do things differently, it empowers us having that awareness first of what's going on now, to then have that intention to adapt and change and grow. Taking a final releasing breath to close off the practice. We'll breathe in for 3 counts and breathe out through the mouth like a big sigh. So inhaling for 1, 2, 3, and exhale, release. Let it all go. And coming back into your space, opening the eyes back up when you're ready. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed that flow. Do comment and feedback to me on how you got on with that. And do subscribe to this channel. It's completely free and I really appreciate your support. Link below to my online membership and other things that I offer. So on my online membership, the difference between that and YouTube is that there are much longer flows on there. There's also more kind of meditations. We often have kind of live practices offered as well, and I'm kind of there on hand to kind of assist you with any yoga related questions or help you in your practice and your journey. So do check that out, and I can't wait to flow with you again very soon. Take care. Bye bye.